Commander Vrex Talmorian stared at the holographic display in disbelief. The entire Draconian 7th Fleet, over 300 warships carrying the most advanced weaponry in the known galaxy, had gone completely silent after entering Earth's orbit. No distress signals, no final transmissions, just eerie, absolute silence. "How?" he hissed, his scaled fingers digging into the armrests of his command chair. "How does an entire invasion force simply vanish?" The bridge of the Draconian flagship Inevitable Conquest fell silent as officers exchanged nervous glances. Earth was supposed to be a primitive world, barely a century into its space age, confined mostly to their solar system, with rudimentary defensive capabilities. The humans were supposed to fall within days, becoming just another conquered species in the vast Draconian empire. "Perhaps a communications malfunction?" suggested Lieutenant Morvix, though her voice betrayed her doubt. "Across 300 ships simultaneously?" Vrex's tail lashed in agitation. "Impossible!" Admiral Keswick, the oldest officer aboard and veteran of 17 planetary conquests, stepped forward. Unlike the others, his expression showed not fear but something closer to respect. "It's the humans," he said quietly. "We've underestimated them." "Gravely," Vrex scoffed. "These primates, their most advanced weaponry is chemical propellant and crude nuclear devices." "Then explain the disappearance of our fleet," Keswick challenged. "Our intelligence on Earth is clearly flawed." Vrex turned to his tactical officer. "Dispatch a stealth probe. I want visual confirmation of what happened." The probe launched silently into the void, accelerating toward the blue-green planet that had somehow swallowed an armada. Hours later, the first images arrived. What they saw defied explanation: the wreckage of Draconian warships, vessels built to withstand supernovae, floated in orbit like discarded toys. Some appeared to have been sliced cleanly in half, others showed no external damage, but were completely powerless, and some had simply disintegrated, leaving only molecular debris clouds. "What weapon could do this?" whispered Morvix. Admiral Keswick's eyes narrowed. "That's just it. Our sensors detect no weapon signatures we recognize, no energy patterns, no radiation consistent with any known technology." The probe continued its silent journey, transmitting images of Earth itself. The humans appeared to be going about their daily lives, oblivious to the destroyed armada above them. There were no celebrations of victory, no planetary defense systems visible, no signs of the incredible power that had obliterated the invasion force. "They don't even realize they've won," Vrex said incredulously. "Or," Keswick replied, his voice grave, "they knew the outcome before the battle began." A junior officer rushed to Vrex's side, eyes wide with panic. "Commander, we're detecting an anomaly approaching from Earth. It's small. Perhaps a shuttle." "Battle stations," Vrex ordered, but Keswick placed a restraining hand on his arm. "If they could destroy our fleet without effort, what good will battle stations do?" the Admiral asked softly. On the view screen, a small craft approached, primitive by Draconian standards with chemical thrusters and a simple metal hull. It bore markings identifying it as a NASA vessel. "They're hailing us," said the communications officer. Vrex straightened his uniform, prepared to face whatever godlike beings had so effortlessly destroyed his people's mightiest warships. "Put them through." The face that appeared was disappointingly human, an older female with dark skin and gray hair pulled back tightly. "Draconian vessel," she said calmly. "This is Dr. Isadora Reeves of Earth. I suggest we talk." Dr. Isadora Reeves sat across from Commander Vrex in the hastily prepared diplomatic chamber aboard the Inevitable Conquest. Despite being surrounded by hostile aliens, she maintained a composure that unsettled the Draconian officers. Her small shuttle had docked without hesitation, and she had boarded their vessel alone, armed with nothing but a tablet device and what appeared to be a simple silver bracelet. "Let me be direct," Reeves said, her voice carrying the weight of someone accustomed to speaking for billions. Earth is not interested in war, but we are prepared for it. Your fleet's destruction should serve as adequate demonstration. Vrex's scales rippled with suppressed rage. How did you do it? What weapon could possibly— Not a weapon, Reeves interrupted. At least not in the way you understand weapons. She tapped her tablet, and a holographic display appeared between them, showing microscopic machines, billions of them, swarming through Draconian ship systems. Nanites? Vrex asked incredulously. Impossible! Our ships have electromagnetic shielding specifically designed to— Your understanding of physics is limited, Reeves said. These aren't conventional nanomachines. They operate on principles your scientists haven't discovered yet. Admiral Keswick leaned forward, eyes narrowed. You're saying humans have technology that surpasses the oldest spacefaring empire in the known galaxy? Reeves smiled thinly. Not exactly. 10 years ago, we didn't. But then we found something buried beneath the Antarctic ice sheet. Something very old, and very much not from Earth. The revelation hung in the air like an executioner's blade. You reverse-engineered alien technology, Vrex said, the pieces falling into place. We call them the precursors, Reeves continued. They visited Earth millions of years ago and left gifts, dormant technology that would only activate when we reached a certain level of development. When your advanced scouts entered our solar system 3 years ago, it triggered the final activation protocol. Morvix gasped. You knew we were coming? All this time? We've been preparing for you specifically, yes. Reeves calmly sipped from a water container she had brought. The precursors left warnings about several aggressive species the Draconians featured prominently. Vrex felt his world shifting beneath him. His species had conquered hundreds of worlds across 12 star systems. They had demolished civilizations far more advanced than Earth appeared to be. And yet— If what you say is true, he said carefully, why not simply destroy this ship as well? Why come here to talk? Reeves set down her water. Because the precursors were not just warriors, they were teachers. They believed in redemption and evolution, even for species as bloody-minded as yours. She tapped her tablet again, and new images appeared. Draconian soldiers not dead but unconscious, floating in orbit inside simple containment fields. Your people are alive, Commander. All 92,000 of them. Their ships were dismantled, but the crews were spared. Admiral Keswick's eyes widened. Mercy! After we came to conquer you? Not mercy, Reeves corrected. Strategy. Dead Draconians tell no tales, but living ones who return home with stories of defeat? That sends a much clearer message. Rex's tail twitched nervously. What do you want from us? A simple choice, Reeves said, her expression hardening. Return to your empire with your crews and tell them Earth is permanently off limits. Or— She gestured toward the viewport where Earth hung serenely. Find out what else the precursors taught us. The Imperial Council chamber on Dracos Prime fell into stunned silence as the holographic recording ended. Commander Vrex stood rigidly at attention, having just presented the evidence of their fleet's humiliating defeat. Behind him, Admiral Keswick and the other surviving officers waited for the inevitable explosion of rage. Emperor Malzoth VII, 17 feet of armored scales and evolutionary perfection, rose slowly from his obsidian throne. His ceremonial blade, the same one that had beheaded the last 3 commanders who had failed him, remained sheathed. This recording could be fabricated, he said, voice dangerously soft. A coward's excuse for failure. High General Razik, the Emperor's most trusted military advisor, stepped forward. The quantum verification codes are authentic, Your Magnificence, and the neurological scans of Commander Vrex and his officers show no deception. Then explain, Malzoth demanded. How primitives who still burn hydrocarbons for energy defeated our most advanced fleet. No one spoke. The silence stretched until Admiral Keswick broke protocol. They are not primitives, Your Magnificence. They merely appeared to be. Clarify, the Emperor commanded. The humans have benefited from the technology of the precursors, Keswick explained. The same ancient race whose artifacts we've sought for centuries. A murmur ran through the council. The precursors were semi-mythical beings whose technological remnants were the most valuable treasures in the galaxy. The Draconian Empire possessed only 3 confirmed precursor artifacts, each worth more than entire star systems. And Earth had a planet full. This changes everything, whispered Science Minister Lorzak. If they control active precursor technology, it changes nothing. Emperor Malzoth slammed his tail against the floor, cracking the marble. One setback does not alter our divine mandate to rule the stars. First strategist Novix, renowned for her calculating mind, spoke carefully. Your Magnificence, with respect, it changes our approach. The humans have demonstrated power beyond our current capabilities, yet they returned our soldiers to us unharmed. They seek to avoid war. Weakness, spat the Emperor. Or confidence, countered Novix. They could have annihilated our people, but chose restraint. That suggests either overwhelming moral conviction or overwhelming tactical superiority. Either way, direct confrontation would be inadvisable. The Emperor's eyes narrowed dangerously. You suggest we bow to these mammals? I suggest we adapt, Novix replied. As we have always done. Commander Vrex watched the debate unfold, sensing the momentum shifting. The Draconian Empire had not survived for millennia by being foolishly rigid. When faced with superior force, they withdrew, observed, learned, and eventually conquered. Your Magnificence, he said, speaking for the first time since his report. There is another factor to consider. The human representative mentioned others. Others? The Emperor's crest flared with interest. She implied Earth is just one of several worlds the precursors have elevated, protected species scattered throughout the galaxy. This revelation sent fresh shockwaves through the council. If Earth wasn't unique, if there were other worlds, with precursor technology, the strategic implications were staggering. Science Minister Lorzak's eyes gleamed with sudden comprehension. The missing colonies, the failed invasions over the centuries, the regions of space our scouts found inexplicably empty despite being perfect for colonization. All potentially precursor protectorates, Admiral Keswick finished. We may have been encountering their handiwork for generations without realizing it. Emperor Malzoth sank back onto his throne, the weight of this new reality settling upon him. For the first time in living memory, the ruler of the Draconian Empire looked uncertain. What would you have us do? He asked, the question directed at no one in particular. First strategist Novix stepped forward. We adapt. We observe. We learn everything we can about these humans and their precursor benefactors. And most importantly, her eyes gleamed with cold calculation. We find a way to acquire their technology for ourselves. 6 months after the failed invasion, Dr. Isadora Reeves stood in the subterranean chamber beneath Antarctica that humans had come to call the Vault. Around her, precursor technology hummed with quiet power, displays showing real-time monitoring of Draconian movements across 12 star systems. They're probing our defenses again, noted Colonel Emrys Patel, Earth's defense coordinator. 3rd time this month. Reeves nodded, unsurprised. The Draconians are nothing if not persistent. Their scout ships are keeping their distance, though. For now. Patel's expression remained grim. But their activity has increased by 27%. They're planning something. The Antarctic facility had expanded dramatically since first contact with the Draconians. What had begun as a small research outpost was now Earth's primary defense headquarters, staffed by the brightest minds from every nation. The heart of the facility remained the precursor artifacts, crystalline structures that defied conventional understanding of material science, containing data storage systems and technological blueprints that had accelerated human development by centuries. Director Reeves? A young technician approached, excitement evident in her voice. The precursor, translation matrix just completed another section of the archives. You'll want to see this. The holographic display shifted to reveal new information, star charts, technological schematics, and most importantly, detailed profiles of dozens of alien species. "My God," whispered Patel. "There are others out there like us." Reeves studied the data with growing excitement. "Not just like us. Some appear to be far more advanced. The Eldari have apparently developed a post-biological civilization. The Myraxians have mastered Dyson sphere technology. Potential allies against the Draconians? Perhaps." Reeves zoomed in on one particular star system. "But first we need to make contact. This world, Avalon, according to our translation, appears to be the closest precursor protectorate to our solar system." Behind them, the vault's massive door hummed open, admitting United Earth Council Chairman Okafor. The political leader's face showed the strain of 6 months of preparations for a war that could begin at any moment. "Tell me you have good news, Isadora," he said. "Potentially." Reeves highlighted the translated data. "We've identified other protected worlds. With the new FTL capabilities the precursors have given us, we could reach the nearest one in just under 3 weeks. Okafor frowned. "You're proposing first contact with another alien civilization while we're under threat from the Draconians?" "I'm proposing we expand our alliance before the Draconians return in force," Reeves countered. "The precursors protected multiple species for a reason. We're meant to find each other." Colonel Patel studied the tactical implications. If these other civilizations have precursor technology as well, a united front would make the Draconians think twice about attacking any of us, or it could provoke them into immediate action, Okafor warned. "If they detect our ships heading toward another protected world—" "They're already planning their next move," Reeves said firmly. "The question is whether we'll be ready with allies when they make it." The debate might have continued, but alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. The monitoring screens flashed red as a technician called out, "Massive spatial distortion detected at the edge of the solar system. It's not Draconian. The energy signature doesn't match anything in our database." The main display showed a massive vessel emerging from what appeared to be a fold in space itself. Its design was organic and flowing, utterly unlike the angular Draconian warships. "Are the planetary defenses responding?" demanded Patel. "That's just it, sir," the technician replied, bewildered. "The precursor systems are active, but not hostile. They appear to be exchanging data with the incoming ship." Reeves stepped closer to the display, her heart racing. "It's not an attack," she said quietly. I think they've found us first." The communications array chimed with an incoming transmission. The message that appeared was in multiple languages, the last of which was recognizable as English. "Greetings, Terrans. We are the Avalonian Collective. We received your awakening signal 6 months ago when you activated your defensive measures. The Guardians have brought us together at last. The convergence begins." First Strategist Novix moved silently through the Imperial archives on Dracos Prime, her access clearance temporarily elevated by direct order of the Emperor himself. The cavernous repository of knowledge stretched for miles beneath the surface, containing records dating back thousands of years. She had come seeking patterns, specifically any mention of incidents similar to what had happened at Earth. The humiliating defeat had been classified at the highest levels. But the Empire's history was long, and Novik suspected this might not be the first encounter with precursor defenses. Section 87 Epsilon, Historical Anomalies, announced the archival system as she reached her destination. Novix began her search, methodically reviewing records of failed military campaigns throughout Draconian history. Most were explainable: superior numbers, environmental factors, tactical errors. But then she found it. Campaign Record 3472B, the attempted conquest of a world called Mira 4 over 3 centuries earlier. The parallels were unmistakable: a seemingly primitive civilization, an invasion fleet that went silent, the few survivors, reporting impossible technology that appeared from nowhere. The record ended with a simple notation: planet quarantined by imperial decree. Novix's heart raced as she expanded her search. 2 more planets, Vega Prime and Psi, showed similar patterns, separated by centuries. All were now marked as forbidden territory in navigational charts, the reasons obscured by classification. "I knew it," she whispered. "The precursors have been protecting worlds from us for generations." "An astute observation," came a voice from behind her. Novix whirled to find Emperor Malzoth himself standing in the shadows, his massive form somehow having approached without detection. "Your Magnificence," she said, dropping to one knee. "I was just pursuing the same questions that have haunted me since Commander Vrex's return," the Emperor finished. "Rise, strategist. Your initiative is why I value your counsel." Novix stood, noticing that the Emperor had come alone, without his customary guards. Whatever brought him here was not for others to witness. "These worlds," Malzoth continued, gesturing at her findings, "represent the greatest failures of my ancestors. Planets deemed too dangerous to approach, civilizations too well protected to conquer." "You knew about them?" "I suspected." Each emperor is briefed on certain historical challenges. Malzoth's eyes narrowed. "But never before have we encountered a world that not only repelled us, but sent our own forces back with a message." Novix processed this information carefully. "The humans are different." "Yes, and now we know why." The Emperor activated a private data terminal, displaying information not available in the public archives. "Our intelligence network has detected unusual activity in the past month. Ships of unknown design approaching Earth. Communications we cannot decipher." The implications hit Novix immediately. "The other protected species, they're making contact with each other." "Precisely." Malzoth's tail lashed with agitation. "For millennia, these worlds were isolated, manageable threats. Now they are potentially becoming an alliance. An existential threat to the Empire," Novix concluded. "Unless we act." The Emperor's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. "I have authorized Project Eclipse." Novix barely suppressed a gasp. Project Eclipse was theoretical weapons research so controversial that even proposing it was considered treasonous until recently. The development of technology that could potentially neutralize precursor systems. "Is that possible?" she asked. "Our scientists have been studying the 3 precursor artifacts in our possession for centuries," Malzoth replied. "Recent breakthroughs suggest vulnerabilities. The artifacts are powerful, but not infallible." Novix considered the strategic implications. "Even if we develop such technology, attacking Earth directly would be risky. They've had time to prepare. We will not attack Earth." The Emperor's expression was coldly calculating. "We will attack the nascent alliance before it forms. Our intelligence suggests a diplomatic mission is being planned. Representatives from multiple protected worlds gathering on neutral territory." "A perfect target," Novix realized. "Strike them all at once, away from their planetary defenses. And, with our new technology, their precious precursor protections will fail them." Malzoth straightened to his full imposing height. "The humans have forced our evolution, strategist. We will emerge stronger for it." As they spoke, Deep within another secure facility, Draconian scientists labored over the Empire's most classified project. At its center sat a crystalline device of clearly alien origin, one of the 3 precursor artifacts. But now it was surrounded by Draconian technology designed to subvert rather than harness its power. And on a nearby testing chamber, captured from a border skirmish years earlier, sat a small object with Earth markings, a simple communication device of human design, still containing trace elements of precursor enhancement. The perfect template for what would soon become the Empire's deadliest weapon. The diplomatic vessel Unity glided through space toward the rendezvous coordinates, its revolutionary, precursor-inspired drive leaving no traditional warp signature for tracking. Aboard, representatives from 7 different protected worlds prepared for the historic first meeting of what they were already calling the Concordat. Dr. Isadora Reeves stood on the observation deck, watching the stars streak by. Beside her, Ambassador Lyranix of Avalon, a tall, elegant being with iridescent skin, regarded the human with gentle curiosity. "You seem troubled, Doctor," Lyranix observed, their melodic voice translating seamlessly through precursor technology. "Just contemplating how quickly everything has changed," Reeves replied. 6 months ago, Earth was facing extinction. Now we're forming an interstellar alliance. The Guardians planned this convergence for millennia, Lyranix said, using the Avalonian term for the precursors. When the Draconians threatened your world, it triggered the final phase. Commander Oris Vanek, the Unity's security chief, approached with a concerned expression. "Ambassador Doctor, our sensors have detected unusual energy fluctuations near the rendezvous point." Reeves frowned. "Draconian?" "Unknown," Vanek admitted, "but it doesn't match any signature in our database." From across the deck, Representative Jin of the Myraxian Collective joined them, the crystalline being's form shifting with agitation. "Our analysis subroutines detect precursor energy patterns, but distorted." The words had barely left Jin's translator when the ship's alarms activated. The star field ahead rippled as 5 massive Draconian warships materialized from what appeared to be modified cloaking technology. "Battle stations," Vanek ordered, but Reeves grabbed his arm. "Wait! Our defenses are automated. The precursor systems should be activating." But as they watched in horror, the familiar glow of their protective systems flickered and dimmed. Something was interfering with the very technology that had protected them from the Draconian fleet months earlier. "Impossible," whispered Lyranix. "The Guardian's technology cannot be countered." The main view screen activated, revealing the scaled visage of Emperor Malzoth himself, his expression one of savage triumph. "Representatives of the so-called protected worlds," he began, "you witness the dawn of a new era. Your precursor guardians are no longer infallible." Reeves stepped forward. "Whatever you've done, it won't last. The precursor systems adapt." "Perhaps," Malzoth conceded. "But they won't adapt quickly enough to save you. The Concordat dies today, before it can truly begin." As weapon systems powered up on the Draconian vessels, Reeves exchanged looks with the alien representatives, beings who had been strangers weeks ago but were now Earth's greatest allies. None showed fear, only grim determination. Representative Jin stepped forward, crystalline form pulsing with inner light. "You misunderstand, Emperor. The Concordat is not merely an alliance for mutual protection. It is the fulfillment of the Guardian's purpose," continued Lyranix. The Draconians opened fire, but in that exact moment something extraordinary happened. The representatives of all 7 worlds moved in perfect synchronization, their diverse anatomies adopting identical postures. Their eyes glowed with the same blue light that characterized precursor technology. When they spoke, it was in unison, their voices layered with harmonics that made the very air vibrate. "We are the key. Energy flowed between them, connecting the representatives in a web of light that expanded outward. The Draconian weapons fire slammed into this energy field and simply vanished. Emperor Malzoth's expression shifted from triumph to uncertainty. "What trickery is this?" "Not trickery," the unified voices replied. "Culmination." The precursor artifacts carried by each representative began to resonate, creating a harmonic pattern that spread throughout the ship. The unity itself began to transform, its structure reconfiguring with impossible fluidity. Reeves felt knowledge flooding into her mind, understanding beyond what any human had ever possessed. She saw the precursor's grand design, not merely to protect individual species, but to bring them together, to create something transcendent from their union. The Draconian warships fired again, this time deploying their new secret weapon, energy, specifically calibrated to disrupt precursor technology. But the beam passed harmlessly through the transformed unity. "You sought to disable precursor technology," the unified voices explained. "But we are not using technology now. We have become the technology." The unity expanded, its form now resembling a massive crystalline lattice that enveloped the Draconian fleet. Not attacking, containing, Emperor Malzoth roared in fury. "What are you doing? Release us immediately!" "We offer you choice," came the reply, now including Reeves's voice in the harmony. "Join the Concordat as equals, not conquerors. Share in knowledge rather than taking it by force. The Draconians were never meant to be excluded. Your species was simply not ready." "And if we refuse," Malzoth demanded, "then you will be returned to your homeworld, your weapons neutralized, to evolve further until you are ready to join us." The Emperor's rage was palpable, but first strategist Novix moved into view, her calculating mind already assessing the new reality. "Your Magnificence," she said carefully, "the situation has evolved beyond our projections." For long moments, the Emperor struggled with fury and pride. Finally, with visible effort, he controlled himself. "I will consider your offer," he managed. Reeves felt herself returning to normal consciousness as the energy field gradually receded. The representatives likewise returned to their individual forms, though something had fundamentally changed in all of them. They had glimpsed the precursor's ultimate purpose, not guardians, but gardeners, cultivating species toward a shared cosmic destiny. As the diplomatic team prepared to welcome their reluctant new potential allies, Reeves gazed out at the stars with new understanding. The Draconian fleet had fallen silent at Earth not as an end, but as the beginning of something far greater than humanity had ever imagined. The Concordat had awoken, and the galaxy would never be the same.